May the Noble Triple Gem bless you all. Once again we meet after our last discussion, when we discussed about how the association can change and impact on your life. So dear children, we'll also today look at some interesting points and interesting lessons that Lord Buddha taught us. Before doing that, we'll pay our homage to the noble virtues of the Lord Buddha by chanting Namaskara 3 times. You can join in hands with me by paying our homage to the Lord Buddha by chanting the Namaskara. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, dear children, let us remind ourselves what we have been talking so far. Dear children, in our initial sermons, we talked about how we can see ourselves from the actions of the others. Or in other words, we talked about how to reflect through the actions of the others. Today we try to go a step beyond, and we are planning to learn how to be empathetic towards the others. Just imagine someone is going through a very difficult period of time. Maybe some are going through a very difficult time. They may have lost their loved ones, or they may have failed from their exams. In such occasions, people try various things to make themselves happy, and they look forward to associate with the friends, and they do various things to relieve out of the extreme suffering that they are undergoing. My dear children, in these occasions, we also become stressed and we are anxious. Sometimes we are even reluctant to talk to such people. My dear children, this is a time that you should be very cautious, because they are undergoing through a very difficult period of time. This is a time that they need the most of you. You can donate some time, you can give some time, and you can share the grief that they are undergoing with them. My dear children, we have learned and we have talked about this. What you give is what you get. If you can put yourself in their shoes, you will definitely understand the struggle that they make inside. My dear children, if you know the struggle that they make, you will be able to express the metta from the bottom of your heart. How to put yourself in their shoes? My dear children, this is something impossible to do, because you will never be subjected to the stress that they are going through. The only thing that you can get closer to do is you can imagine yourself. Use your power of imagination to try and go to the situation that they are undergoing. My dear children, for example, let's say someone has lost their loved ones and they are going through a very difficult situation. Dear children, in such occasion, if they are one of your good friends, you may talk with them and you may ask, why are you sad? Then they explain to you. And even some people, they try to hide the feelings that they have. My dear children, you might be the only person that they like to reveal the truth with you. Dear children, if you come across such a situation, just remember that they are your best friend. And you need to give your time to the maximum that you can. My dear children, this is an investment that you do. These investments will reap you results in no time. Dear children, if you are very successful in expressing your compassion to the others, just remember, you are the most beautiful person on earth. The beauty of your heart, the pure intention that you have to express the metta, your compassion towards the others, is priceless. Because of people like you, dear children, this humanity still prevails on this earth. Dear children, let us keep and continue and sustain the humanity of this earth, and let us do it by inculcating these good virtues in us. My dear children, it's very easy to ignore such occasions. When people go through very difficult situations in life, it's very easy to ignore and just go as you never saw it. It's an easy option. But some people, some of yours, they do not do it like that. They take the burden of listening to your friends, and they take the burden of consoling them. Actually, you're investing your time on them. Actually, this is a time where you don't think about yourself. You're selfless. You're selflessly gifting the time, the precious time that you have, to listen to them, to console them. Dear children, these are the qualities that one should have to express the noble metta. In this day and age, my dear children, people are very busy. All of them are busy, including those of you who face their exams. All the students are busy these days. They have their own work at school, in classes, and various other things. And of course, you do many extracurricular activities as well, which is a very good thing, of course, but at the same time, at least have a very little time to inculcate these good virtues. Have a little time for the benefit of the others. My dear children, what you give is what you get. If you have some time, at least some amount of time, to give to the others for the betterment of them, of course, they will also have at least some amount of time for you. My dear children, the Bodhisattva, when our Lord Buddha was fulfilling his perfections, he was known as the Bodhisattva. There are plenty of stories which is related to the Bodhisattva. In all of them, we learn of him. Each and every story that he has related through a Jataka tale is very valid to this date. And they denote these noble virtues, the virtues of thinking for others without thinking about yourself. In countless stories of them, the Bodhisattva sacrificed his own life for the betterment of the others. One time, when he was born as a great elephant, in a Jataka tale called Mahachandanta Jataka, he has sacrificed his own life to gift his tusks for someone. This person, who was a hunter of great elephants, one day comes and shoots this great elephant. And out of pain, he howls out of pain, my dear children, but he never reveals the hunter. He let the hunter to go and crawl under his belly. and all the other great tuskers have left the place because of the howling pain that their king has committed. My dear children, only who are left are the 4 female tuskers, 4 female elephants. They never left, but the Bodhisattva requests them to go and seek for this hunter, whereas the hunter was under his belly. But when the female elephants leave the place, this hunter reveals himself out of the belly and he starts to sever the tusks, and the blood comes out, and it comes out and it is painful for the great elephant, but he never damage or do any harm to this hunter. My dear children, like this the tale goes. I want to focus something in this story. That is none other than the selfless sacrifice of his life towards the betterment of the others. My dear children, you don't have to offer your tusks, of course. You can't sacrifice your life at the extent where our Bodhisattva has. We might not have to go to that far, but we can do simple things. For example, dear children, there might be occasions where you have seen and where you have been subjected to some kind of a pressurized occasion. For example, there might be some things which is under your mind, which are not that noticeable, among friends as well. There might be competition among your friends. There might be things that you don't share with each other. But when things happen, when someone looks at you in an odd way, things might get worse, and you might get awful thoughts against them. But my dear children, if you are wise, you will not be such a person who will try to go along with your emotions. Because, dear children, these emotions come because of the ignorance, because we haven't been able to see ourselves, and we haven't been able to put ourselves in the other's shoes. What we can do here is, we can try and go a step forward, and we can try and put ourselves in their shoes and to see the world in their perspective as well. Then we might see something that we have never seen. My dear children, this is the art of being empathetic. If you can master this art, I'm sure you can express your noble compassion to almost all sentient beings in all worlds. Dear children, let's say there is this person who tries to compete with you in your exams or in extracurricular activities. How do you feel about him or her? Dear children, it is very natural to feel some competition between you and him or her. But my dear children, if you are someone who practices what you give is what you get, you'll always share your thoughts and share your techniques of trying to be successful or trying to excel in the way that you practice with your colleague. My dear children, one might say that is foolish. That act of sharing your techniques, your knowledge is foolish. But I doubt it. My dear children, the more you give out of pure intention, the more you get. Ladies and gentlemen, cut that. My dear children, if you want to excel in whatever the endeavor that you are thriving forward, You have to give to the others. This is the secret of excel. This is the secret of winning the hearts of the others. This is the secret that you can express your noble compassion. My dear children, if you have mastered these techniques, I'm sure your life will be very different than you ever have imagined. Dear children, these qualities cannot be inculcated or cannot be learned overnight. It takes some time. Of course, with the association of the noble friendship that you get, your life will change, and eventually, when you look back at your life, it would have changed beyond even recognition. My dear children, when you know when to practice what technique at the correct time, you know how to lead your life in order to be happy, as well as to make other lives happy as well. Dear children, you might come across certain very difficult situations where it is very challenging to put yourself into the shoes of the others. Dear children, for example, let's say there's one of your friends who finds it very difficult to share something with any of his friends. He might seem very gloomy, and he might be withdrawn from everyone else. Usually, these are the people, these are the students who get bullied from everyone else. It is very likely that all the students like to corner this student because no one cares about him, because he gets bullied. And if one tries to talk with him, he also gets bullied. My dear children, if you are someone who is very forward and who is willing to help, you will help these kinds of children. You can go and help them. You can talk with them, and you can share their grief. Try to console them. My dear children, not many people do these things. Do you know why? Because not many people don't know the value of these virtues. They haven't experienced the value of giving. My dear children, if you are someone who respects everyone, who respects the identity of everyone, you will give no matter what. You will not consider whether they are good. Cut that. You will not consider their race, their ethnicity, their skin color. No matter what, you will help them all. My dear children, this is the core principle of becoming empathetic towards others. Try to put yourself in the shoes of the other. When you try to do that, you will relieve an unseen side of your life. With that, it is very natural for you to learn these new things, which will enable you to understand about yourself as well as the others. Dear children, so far we have talked about how to express the noble metta and how to be empathetic towards the others. We hope that through these teachings that your lives will become changed towards the betterment, and you will have gained as much merits as you can, because the merits are the ones that will guide you towards your liberation. My dear children, let us do a small transfer of merits. May through the power of all the merits that we have acquired throughout the day, if any of our ancestors have been born in the woeful plane, may they redeem themselves from the woeful planes and be born in the blissful plane. May they abstain from unmeritorious deeds, fulfill the meritorious deed, fulfill the noble eightfold path, and attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.